Shadows rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their seventh draft. It's Monday, October 6th, 2025, and whether you're wildcarding after Week 7 or just here to scout some differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, picture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, how are you doing?
I think it's safe to say I have hit rock bottom. I am in second to last in the league, and that is only because we had somebody join 2 weeks late. Things are not going well. How about you?
Well, I feel for you. I am doing better than that, but that's not what this is about. This is a safe space.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, of course.
It's Friday morning. I'm trying to tinker last-minute ideas what to do, and I say, you know what? Jim is not doing well this year. Matt has seemed to turn it around. What can I do to emulate Matt this week? So I said, I've known Matt a long time, and Matt's favorite singer, Carrie Underwood. And Carrie Underwood's best song, Jesus Take the Wheel. So what do? I say, you know what? I'm not going to do anything this week. I'm going to double down on Foden as captain. I'm going to bank my transfer, and I'm going to let the big guy guide me. And you know what happened? The big guy spit in my face and said, I don't like Flavortown.
Well,
I tried
you
to
have known me.
You.
You
And
have
that
known
didn't
me
even
for a
work.
long time. If you wanted to be like me, you probably were. Those were probably the closest things you could have done to emulate me. Huge Carrie fan. Love her legs. I know she had that fall a few years ago and she had major reconstruction going on with everything going on up here. But she is still crushing that Sunday Night
For the
Football.
listeners, where is up here?
Neck, above her neck.
Oh, okay.
The tatas were not harmed in the falling. But love Carrie. Speaking of music this week, not to go on a tangent, but T Swift had an album come out this weekend.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I mean, thought? You want my honest thoughts?
Yeah, be honest.
I think it's a no skipper. I think it's a great album.
Every time I listen to it, I listen to it through. I thought, I like this one. No, I thought, I love this one. I like these two, and the rest are okay. And every time I listen to it, another one gets added to the love list.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that it's only 42 minutes.
That is, I think, probably one of the most underrated pieces of it. You can tell she is clearly happy. You can tell she just doesn't give a flying fuck about anyone. She's just doing whatever she wants. She's saying whatever she wants.
Yeah.
These are probably the most racy lyrics she's ever had, and I kind of love it. There's a song in there about a certain fiance, Killer Trav, about his manhood.
There's Redwood.
Big fan of the album. It has been on. It has been on the speakers in our home, and in the car radio speakers. Well done, Taylor.
Any other speakers?
I don't
Shower speaker?
shower. Well, so we have like the kind of the home speaker kind of synced up. So we've got the office speaker, the kitchen speaker, the family room speaker, the bedroom speaker, and the bathroom speaker all synced up at the same time. So you really can't take a step anywhere in the house without hearing it. Fun though, we picked up our daughter from school today and she started singing the bridge to what's that one? Was it the romantic one? what is the one? Can't think of the
Wish
name of the
List?
song. No, what's the name of the song?
I think my favorite one is still Opalite.
Really like Opalite. Really like Opalite. Actually Romantic, which kind of an interesting one for her to have stuck in her head.
She Loves Love.
Big Elizabeth Taylor fan.
I haven't come around on that one yet, but
Yeah. We
actually,
actually
my least favorite, just because 'cause I'm not a big fan of her, is Life of a Showgirl. I'm not a Sabrina fan.
I like Sabrina. I like Sabrina.
I don't like that she just, like, speaks through the songs. Like, she just sings, like, a third of the time, the rest she's just talking.
I think Sabrina actually is an incredible vocalist. I think she's got incredible range. I think like she's in that category of like she could sing. She's actually probably a better singer than Taylor Swift
Don't even
is.
say that. Don't even say that.
I, anyway, but yeah, this was a fun weekend because my weekend started with a new album Friday morning where I also had, similar like, I listened to it. I was like, oh, 45 minutes. I cleared my whole morning. I could do it again. And then, but I had a little bit of a different scenario where I made my transfers earlier in the week. So I was at peace with my decisions and I had Semenyo in my team.
Yeah,
Semenyo's special season is, I mean,
it's
what
unbelievable.
else can we say? I think he's now up to 6 goals, 3 assists. His price is just going up. I cannot imagine he'll be at Bournemouth past this season. If they don't cash in on him, I think they would be stupid, frankly. I, I think he
Do you think
started the
he'll make it
season at.
past January at this rate?
I think yes, because I think at this point he's not showing any signs of stopping. And for them just to basically for them to sell him would be basically them saying we're going to just punt on the season. Like I can't think of any time in recent history where I've seen a team just completely punt on the season in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I mean, never say never.
Because
I mean, I
everything
think
is going through him.
everything's going for him. Incredible form. He's just I think he started the season at 7 mil. I think right now, barring any sort of price change while we're speaking, I think he's going into this international break at 7.9. So over the course of 7 game weeks, he has now raised almost an entire mil, which is just incredible. I don't know if we've seen that much movement
Yeah.
ever. So good for him. But we'll talk more about him in the game recaps. But nice way to kick off Friday in the opening fixture.
Yeah.
Moving on, though, a couple of other things that happened this week. Arsenal taking care of business. I know we had a little bit of you and I thought maybe there was a little bit of an upset watch there, though. But you kind of put me in my place, and you were spot on. Arsenal, they kind of took care of business there. The man who shall not be mentioned continues to just kind of, unfortunately, just I don't even want to say prove the doubters wrong because I think I'm really one of the only doubters, but Declan Rice, just kind of right place, right time, slotted it in. Saka, apparently on penalties, taking them from Gyökeres, and a nice, comfortable 2-0 win for Arsenal to take the top of the table.
Top of the table, and yeah, as much as it pains me to say it, he's almost becoming like a smart, not even like a risky pick or a differential pick. It's almost like he's a smart pick because
Yeah.
everything is going through him.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is crazy. I mean, I was really against his price at the beginning of the season, but he has made every penny worth it.
Well, I think
Another
the
thing I was
beginning
wrong
of the
about.
season, yeah, I mean, I think the beginning of the season, right? The whole argument was like DEFCON, he's going to be worth it because DEFCON, but like he's involved in their attack. Like you said, everything's going through him. He's getting goals, he's getting assists, he's on set pieces, corners. Like, I mean, we don't like to throw the word essential around, but for that
Smart.
price,
I'll give him a smart pick.
smart
Yeah.
overcoat.
Nobody would question seeing him in the squad now.
And the team that Arsenal overtook in table position, Liverpool, straight belly flop.
Yeah. Another one I
Now,
was right about.
you were right. Now, I will admit, I actually went back in the episode because I wanted to make sure that I was remembering your stance on kind of our prediction, because I know I went out on a limb and I said Liverpool are basically they're either going to go out and win this one 4-0, or they're going to continue to essentially um, push this narrative of all these questions that we have about them. And you said like Chelsea's midfield could you know play with any midfield in the league, and that's exactly what they did. Caicedo with the absolute ripper to put them up. More of the same. Where was Salah in this game? And we'll get to some of the details. If you're a Liverpool fan, if you're a Liverpool owner, or if you own Liverpool assets, whether that be Salah, Isak, I know Isak had an assist in this game, Ekitike, Verts. If you still own Verts, I don't know why. Any of their back line, you might be hitting that panic button pretty soon.
Yeah, it's three losses in a row. They had 7 to start, 7 in a row to start the season after that loss in the Community Shield, but the last 3 they've dropped. And I don't know if do you think if Isak didn't come in the last few weeks, then we would be panicking as much? Or is it just that their form has dropped at the same time that they broke the record, signed the new striker, and they haven't clicked yet? So I don't know how much of it is reaction to his signing, but regardless, the squad they have shouldn't be. You wouldn't expect the goals to be hard to come by.
No, yeah, I mean they definitely. It's hard. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about
Yeah.
it. Unstoppable though, the Viking, Erling Haaland. I mean, justifying his price this season. Didn't go off like he did against Burnley, but he did notch another goal. Rewarded those, Haaland captainers this week. We'll get into it, but again, another return for Haaland, looking like the clear premium player this season through the first 7 game weeks.
And the easiest captain pick you could make. It's just going to be a set and forget for the rest of the season here.
Looking like
He's
that.
not always going to go off from 2 or 3 goals and assists and bonus, but I mean, that goal he scored, he just looks so much bigger than everybody else out there.
Yeah, yeah. You almost wish, like I think we said it last episode, you only wish he was a midfielder. That's the only downside, is that these goals are coming from a forward, because they don't. I don't want to say they don't mean as much, but they could mean more if they were coming from a midfield.
Yeah, but I think it's good that we have that variety. I mean, we have so many midfielders that are scoring.
Oh yeah,
It's good that we still have uh, an out-and-out striker that's leading the league here.
yeah. Well, I think the streak was finally broken. Palace finally were beaten to end their streak of unbeaten at 19. Your boy, Jack Grealish, ended that streak. Late goal.
Yeah. How can I call these games, but I can't make my picks work. Yeah,
The
I don't know,
the
everything
G-
they just have some sort of little bit of magic to them this year, and I think it's safe to say they underperformed the last couple of years, being in a relegation battle for as long as they were. But NDI is looking good, and Jack is just bringing so much excitement to that squad that I think they're going to be, top half of the league. I think it's going to be a good bounce back year for them. I don't know if we really trust them to be pushing into European spots, but we'll see.
yeah, I mean Jack, I think, is really embracing that Jamie Tart redemption arc
Yeah.
in look and performance. Looking forward to that 4th season. I think they should have stopped, but I know they're right in the season. I think there's some talk of maybe the women's team, but yeah, sometimes you got to know when to pull the plug. But I'll probably watch it when it comes out. But yeah, excited for Jack. I wish that he could play in the upcoming fixture against City, but obviously with kind of the parent club rules, he's not going to be able to do so. Because how great would that have been for him just to come out and maybe put a goal or have some sort of involvement against that against the club that basically said, hey, you're not good enough to break into the squad. Go play somewhere else. But yeah,
But on
anyway,
the other side, gotta give it up to Palace still. Like, what a run they had.
yeah,
They lost a tough one here, but I think it's for fantasy assets, you're still feeling good about them. I think Sarr got another return as well, so
yeah,
they'll be all right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, overall, I mean, the table is starting to shake out a little bit. We definitely have had a little bit of movement. I know, obviously, you and I sometimes are a little bit sarcastic, a little premature. You and I, huh, to crown Liverpool champions of the league a few weeks ago, but Arsenal have made a push, and that's the beauty of the Prem is you never get a week off. Any team can beat any team really any week. So Arsenal have overtaken that top spot. They lead with 16 points from 7 games. Liverpool are in second with 15 points. Spurs are in third with 14, leading Bournemouth by goal differential. And then City are in fifth with 13 points. So a lot of clubs, kind of in that middle pack there. United had a nice week. We'll get into some of the games. Newcastle, honestly, Newcastle being in 11th are a little bit surprising because I feel like they've looked better, but the results just haven't really been there.
Mm.
Excited to talk about that game. And then, as far as some of the bottom feeders, Forest continue to look awful. And just going to be on, I think he might be on Ange out watch pretty soon from what we're seeing in some of the reports. And Wolves just continue to not impress. So
I don't even remember who my other 2 on relegation watch were, but
I think
it
I
was
had
definitely Wolves.
Brentford. I probably had picked, I think I had Burnley.
I think I
We
had
should have
Burnley
written it
as
down
well.
somewhere.
I'm sure the listeners could find it and put in the chat. Or
Sunderland, still in ninth. Good for them. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So player of the week, biggest boom. We mentioned it. Anton Semenyo, 18 points. So he had 2 goals and assists. Didn't get those DEFCON points, only had 9 DEFCON, but did get the 3 bonus points in 90 minutes. Hats off, Semenyo. You could argue he has been the player of the year. Just been an absolute steal for his price, too. Keep that in mind. I mean, is there anything left to say about him at this point? Otherwise, we'll just hold off until the game.
No.
Okay. Do you want to talk? You want to talk busts, flops?
Biggest flop, I mean, Salah's probably number 1. I mean, his cold streak continues, and we mentioned it last week that he's contributing, but it's not enough goals and maybe not enough points per million that you're spending on him. So this might be the tipping point for people. They lost 3 in a row, and it's not looking good for him.
Mm.
João Pedro, another one. I think we mentioned him last week, and I think we held off on the flop label because at least my stance was that he got impacted by the red card, and he's also wasn't somebody that people were targeting for a captain. He had a
He
hot
hasn't had a
start,
goal
but now he's
contribution since Gameweek 3, though. I mean, I mean,
really cooling off. The only saving factor for him, I think, is that there's really nobody else in that price range that people are gonna jump to quickly. Maybe Voltemade, but we'll see.
we'll talk about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I added a name here because I think in the realm of, I won't call him necessarily a premium defender because he's not at that 6 mil point, but he is priced higher than 5 mil. Pedro Porro,
Cool.
I think coming into the season, a lot of hype, whether it be because of Spurs fixtures. I know Spurs had a really nice fixture run to begin the season. They're in the midst of a nice fixture run, kind of towards the tail end. I think it's about to take a little bit of a turn. He's very attacking. He's going to get up on the right-hand side of that pitch. I think he only has 1 goal. He might have 1 assist, but it wasn't even like, really, I wouldn't say a nice assist. No clean sheets. I don't believe he has really any defensive contribution points to speak of. For a player that's priced, I think he right now is sitting at 5.6. You could easily spend that money on basically any Arsenal defender.
Mhm.
They might be a little bit more expensive. you're going to get way better output at this point in time, especially if you made the investment in any of those defenders a few weeks ago when they were probably priced the same. So I hate to do it because I love Pedro Porro. I literally bought a Pedro Porro jersey just a few weeks ago. But from an FPL perspective, he's been a little bit of a flop. I think. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, the Spurs just aren't creating out of the back and the wide players that they have in seasons past. I mean, Kudus is just doing so well up on the wing himself. It's almost like there's no need for Pedro to Porro to get up there, but yeah, I agree. You could easily drop down to Romero or Van de Ven, save some money,
Right.
still get some coverage for Spurs, but agree. We had high hopes for him at the beginning of the year.
Still time though. Still time.
Plenty of time. We're only, what, 7 weeks in?
I think so. I think so. Why don't we get into the fixtures themselves and try to go through a recap? What do you think?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So first match was on Friday. I love a Friday fixture. I hate and I love it. If I'm ready for it, I love it. I was ready for it this week.
Didn't disappoint. A lot of goals.
Do you want to run through it?
Yeah, sure. So it was Bournemouth hosting Fulham. No goals in the first half. Very quiet. There was injury on Fulham. There's a substitution there. And then Ryan Semenyo in the 70th minute, assisted by Samuel Chukwueze, opened the scoring for Fulham. Semenyo is one that we said, his spot hasn't been nailed. He's been kind of subbing in and out with Robinson and unsure where the goals are coming from Fulham. He opened it up in the 70th minute, but then, as I said earlier, Semenyo scored in the 78th, assisted by Adrian Truffert, followed by a Justin Kluivert, a goal in the 84th, assisted by Semenyo. And then at the death, 90th plus 6, Semenyo gets his double, assisted by Ben Gannon-Dwak.
Ganondorf.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of a expected result. Bournemouth have looked good. Fulham have not really been able to score or keep a clean sheet. So I think no surprises there. I know your boy Josh King got the start, but then got subbed out. So he's really cooled off after people were excited about him and his potential price. But other than that, I mean, it's just the Semenyo story. He's red hot, and Bournemouth are taking advantage of these teams that aren't ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think you nailed it on the Fulham side of things. Really, the only players, like you mentioned, Josh King. I don't see him continuing to start in that number 9 as that main striker for long. I think right now their main strikers, that being Raul Jimenez and Muniz, I think they're both have injuries. Muniz should be back early November, so very shortly, I think, after the international break, maybe a week or two. And then Jimenez had a hip injury. We don't really have a return date on that, but we'll see. I don't know if they changed things up. This kind of seemed like a little bit of an emergency kind of lineup here, but we'll see. I don't know. And then just quick shout out to Joaquim Anderson. We mentioned him on the preview app as kind of a DEFCON B, so he actually did get his defensive contribution points there. Another 15 DEFCON. So if you did, for some reason, add him into your squad, another DEFCON point contribution there for him. So nice job there. Opposite, Senesi on Bournemouth. So he actually came off. I only played 78 minutes in this one. I don't really know why he came off early. May have just been I didn't see why. I didn't see any like injury issue or anything like that. But it only got 7 DEFCON, so actually did not reach the requirement to get the 2 points, which was his first time all season not getting the defensive contributions. That's it's going to happen, but his hit rate, I think, is still in the very high 80s. I was actually, did you have Kluivert in your team, or did you have Tavernier? I couldn't remember.
I had Tavernier, who I was trying to use as coverage for Semenyo. He just hasn't scored any. No contributions this year. What a joke.
There was part of me that when I saw the Kluivert goal, I was like, oh, wait, did Jim have Kluivert? And then I was like, man, like that's like he doesn't have Semenyo, and then he moved Kluivert out. I was like, man, that's just hitting you twice as hard. But that makes me feel a little bit better. Anything else on this one? I mean,
no, expected result.
Go get Semenyo before his price rises.
I can't afford him. All right, moving on. The early game Saturday. Leeds hosting Tottenham. So we opened up with a Kudus yellow card in the 22nd minute, followed by a quick goal. Matthias Tell in the 23rd minute, assisted by Kudus. So we made up for the yellow card there. Leeds fired back in the 34th to Noah Okafor. I think that's Emeka's brother. Scored in the 34th minute. I think there was another chance that they missed in the first half that they could have taken the lead, but luckily got out of that one. Paulinho with the yellow card to round out the first half. And then second half another goal by Mohamed Kudus. So this is his first goal in the Prem for Spurs. He had contributed in the Champions League, but going along with all those assists. So finally returning for the players who brought him in ahead of Tottenham's good run. After that, Romero yellow card. Matthias Tell, who had the goal, did come off with a knock in the 73rd minute. Richarlison coming on. So it was interesting that Richarlison didn't get the start. I think that's kind of what we were expecting, given Solanke's injury and I think he's still not fit until after international break for a couple weeks.
Colo Punani.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was it. Some subs at the end of the game to round it out. But the 2 goals from Spurs, Kudus' his big return. I think he's probably the most owned Spurs attacker at this point. Xavi came off in the 24th minute, so he's been good, but he hasn't been good for a FPL perspective. So you still have him in your squad, though, right?
I do. So let's first say, nice win for Spurs. I mean, I think
Good win.
overall, Thomas Frank, he's had a nice opening run of results to start his tenure at the club. The lineup has been questionable is the wrong word. I think at times it's more just it's interesting to see the lineups that he's deploying. Don't know if you can just say it's he's got to have rotation because of Champions League, because like Kudus is starting every game. I understand he's a young guy, he's fit, but like Kudus has nailed that right hand side, and like you just mentioned, he's gotten a few assists.
Only in the
Prem.
Just
scored
only in the Prem. Johnson's been starting on the right in Champions League.
I thought Johnson's been starting on the left in the Champions League.
No, so the midweek Johnson started on the right, Odebear started on the left, and Richie was up top.
Okay.
But same sentiment, right? It's I don't know if it's rotation or if he just doesn't. Maybe he just wants to see everybody play. Yeah, that's what it is.
He just wants to see them all play. I'm fine with it. I mean, at the end of the day, nice to see Kudus get his goal. He's one of those guys that his work rate is just awesome to watch. He's very clearly one of those just he's very athletic. He's just fun to watch. I feel like when he was at West Ham, I guess we'd only watch him maybe twice a season. I guess he was on the right, but maybe I can't imagine Porro was locking him down on that side, or maybe it was Udogie last year. But I don't know. He's been a very pleasant surprise. I'm happy to see him get a return. I'm happy to see him get a return because he's been in my squad for the last few weeks. That being said, you mentioned it, Xavi. He's been a disappointment, I think, from an FPL perspective. It was, I think, if you think about it from you wanted to have 3 Spurs players to target. I didn't bring in Porro. I had Van de Ven. I have Kudus. And then you mentioned it, right? Who was your third Spurs asset that you were going to bring in? Was it going to be Brennan Johnson? Was it going to be Richie? I don't think anybody would have considered bringing in, Tell or Odebear or, any of the other attackers, Bergvall, who we don't really know what position he's playing. Paulinho is not going to be a source of goals. Benson, any of these other players that have, kind of been in and out of the lineup. Hapsar, who was playing in that more advanced 10 role that now is kind of losing some minutes to Xavi. So, I think Xavi was probably the safest pick for minutes to be involved in the attack on corners. It just hasn't
Yeah.
worked out yet. So might be time to move on from him, though. I don't know.
They'll be all right. They have Villa, Everton, Chelsea next. Still a good run.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
For Leeds, anything? I think Calvert-Lewin was the one I was referencing. He missed an early chance. So
Yeah,
one that continues to kick down the line, not one to consider moving in. But anybody else
I think.
from Leeds that stood out to you?
I mean, nice to see. I think like you said, DCL. Just nice to see him get 90 minutes, come off healthy. I think at 5.5, he's probably like the best cheap forward option. Cheap is my air quotes over here. And then again, like
That's guaranteed minutes or guaranteed a
cheap
start at least.
guaranteed minutes. Right, right. And then Joe Roden priced at 4 mil. Goodmanson, I think, is also still at 4 mil. Just nice to see the Leeds assets that are very cheaply priced still getting those guaranteed minutes. So, nothing really specific to talk about, but other than just those cheap assets that if you're trying to maybe thinking about a game week 8 wild card coming out of the international break, and you want to maybe figure out a couple of cheap players to bring in, it's nice to see those players getting those minutes.
Yeah. Could be some good defenders to bring in to free up funds for the next squad. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. Arsenal defenders continue to deliver. Unfortunately, Odegaard, just back from injury, subbed out again in the 30th minute. I think I saw that there was the third game in a row he's been subbed off with injury.
Yes.
Really unfortunate there. Just want to see that offense get going on the attacking side, not from set pieces. But we'll see. I'm sure they'll backfill all right with Eze or Zuberman. He came in, but as we said, Rice with the goal in the 30th minute, followed by a Saka penalty in the 67th. So I know there was a couple questions on Gyökeres versus Saka versus Odegaard. There's only 2 of them on the pitch at the time, but Saka did take it. So good to see him get a goal after coming back from injury himself. But another just routine win, nothing unexpected. Arsenal defenders, uh, I got to get him in. I got to
Yeah,
find a way.
I know. I think I texted you right after the game. I was like, it's right in front of us. Like it has been. It's so clear. Like Arsenal very clearly have the best defense in the league. They arguably have the best keeper in the league. To not have a single Arsenal defender in your squad at this point,
It's irresponsible.
yes, I think that's the word. I think that's the right word, genuinely. So, yes, they're pricey, but for what they're pretty reliably returning, I think the price is justified.
Yeah, and at least for myself, I was saying they had a tough start to the season. The run they have coming up is where I really wanted to get them in. And even when I was saying that, I tricked myself into talking about getting Gyökeres in. But their next run is Fulham, Palace, Brighton, Burnley, Sunderland, then Spurs. That's through the end of November. They have Fulham, can't keep a clean sheet, can't score. Palace, tough game. Burnley, they stink. Sunderland, they're hit or miss. They're not going to have a problem there, I don't think.
Probably miss.
And then Tottenham on November 23rd. So good run before then. That's a nice coming out of the
Great
international
run.
break.
Great run.
You gotta get them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you
It's,
target at this point, though?
Well, so I think if we're just talking backline, are you talking just the entire
Yeah.
squad?
Backline.
So I think my preference would be Gabriel, assuming he's healthy. I think between Gabriel and Saliba, I'd like, for just my gut instinct, I feel like Gabriel is a little bit more of a threat when it comes to set pieces. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I feel like Gabriel feels like he scores more headers off set pieces, off corners. And this is, again, like I said, just a gut feeling. I don't have the numbers in front of me. So I feel like I would go Gabriel. I know Timber and Calafiori have been phenomenal this season, but I don't know how much of that is just like opponent based. I know that's a little bit of Arteta's system, obviously, getting them really high up the pitch and, kind of imposing their system on their opponents. and they haven't really shown any signs of slowing down either. But I don't know. I mean, Gabriel and Saliba have been doing it for so long. I think I would probably stick with Gabriel.
That was a very long explanation.
I know. Well, I wasn't prepared. You didn't give me these questions ahead of time, okay? I didn't know I was going to be interviewed.
Uh,
My agent didn't tell me about this.
you want to hear my answer?
Honestly, no. But go ahead. No, go ahead.
We go Calafiore because he's a differential. Moving on.
Oh.
Anything to talk on West Ham side? Volker got the start up top.
How did Bowen do?
He had a 6.2 rating.
How many shots did he have? Anything?
No shots.
Anything meaningful?
No shots on target. No shots off target. 7 defensive contributions. 33 touches. No successful
DEFCON's
dribbles.
what you want from your forward. So yeah.
Yeah, they're just a bummer to watch. Paqueta with the yellow card. Yeah. Moving
Good
on.
luck, Nuno.
All right, next game. United 2, Sunderland 0. Hate to see them lose. Mason Mount with the opening goal. I think that was his
I didn't
first
even know he
goal
was still in the
in a United
league.
kit. Assisted by Brian Mbuemo. And then Šeško gets the second goal in the 31st minute. And then not much action after that. Dorgu came on as a sub. Hurt people's benches. But yeah.
Yeah, this was like you said, not really like much going on here. Mason Mount scoring kind of meaningless. I mean, the assist for Bomo, nice to see. To be honest, I think the story of this game was, and I'm probably butchering this, Benny Lamens, right? A United keeper leave.
Oh yeah.
I think this was definitely his Premier League debut. I don't know if he started anything European competitions. Oh wait, did United even have any European competitions?
They do not. They lost the European
Oh,
final
yeah.
last year.
That's right. But phenomenal game. I think he looked pretty comfortable back there. Player of the match, 8.6 rating on FOTMob, and if it's on FOTMob, it's legit. So I think he's a little bit expensive. I'm not necessarily bringing him into my squad because I don't think United's back line. Amorim, his whole relationship with the front office is and some of the disagreements that they've had. But this is, I would say, what we would have maybe, I don't want to say expecting, but if we had seen this result in week 1 or week 2 when we were seeing their goal threat early in the season, we would have said, 2-0, maybe that's in line with some of what we were seeing for some of their expected goals. It wouldn't have been as surprising. Sunderland, so take that for what it is.
Yeah. Also good to note, and along those lines of what we saw earlier in the season, Cunha did come back. He got the late sub. So Cunha, Buemo, Šeško all on the field for 10 minutes together, and Fernandes. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like when they get the full 90 again. Or I don't even know if again. I don't think they've ever had it. Good to see him back.
Yeah. The and tough for, I think, managers who maybe tried to steal a DEFCON from some of those cheap Sunderland defenders, whether it be Alderete or who was the other one that we mentioned? I'm trying to remember.
Forget
Mukiele.
Yeah, and Reynolds still got the red card. So
yeah. Did they get it? Let me double check. Mukiele got 12, so he got it. So good for you. And Alderete only had 5. So
tough.
It happens.
Tough. It's a tough look.
But yeah, I don't know. Nice win for United. Šeško, I think that's 2 in his last 2.
It's a streak. All right. Moving on to the marquee game of the weekend. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Moises Caicedo with another goal. Another defensive midfielder with a goal there in the 14th minute, assisted by Malagusto, which means bad good.
Bad good. No, I think gusto is like mucho gusto. I mean, like much, like flavor, right? Mucho gusto.
That doesn't seem right. Maresca with a yellow card in the 40th minute.
Like vigor, enjoyment, like vigor.
Bad vigor. Tough name.
Much vigor. Vinegar.
Florian Wirtz did get the halftime nod, so he came on in the 46th minute. Liverpool scored in the 63rd. Gakpo again, assisted by Isak. So Isak does contribute here. Not the goals that we were expecting and hoping to see. Is Gakpo their leading goal scorer at this point? Maybe he's tied with Ekitike. Not sure.
Might be tied.
Speaking of, Ekitike did get subbed on for Isak in the 74th minute. Arne Slot with the yellow card in the 82nd. So both managers on the yellow. And then at the death, 5th minute, Estevao, assisted by Marc Cucurella with the go-ahead goal.
Big Steve.
After that, Maresca with the second yellow. So he will not be on the pitch of the next match.
He
But
will
big
not be
win.
scoring any goals.
Yeah, big win for the Blues. Like we already mentioned Liverpool. 3 in a row they've lost now. With Isak incoming, I think that kind of blows up our expectation of it, or maybe our viewpoint of it, that it's really worse than it is. But could be the start of a tough run for him. It's not
Yeah,
the
I think
Liverpool of old where Salah is going to be a workhorse all game and dig it out himself. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to create from the midfield.
it's interesting because I think when you look at the personnel, right, like centrally, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Van Dijk, Konate, centrally, right, like it's still the same core. Salah on the right, I mean, he's fine wine, has gotten better with age. This is really the first season where like something seems a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
You have to point to Arne Slot now at this point and say it's the system because the players haven't really changed. You could almost make the argument they brought in better players. Like if you look at Isak, he's obviously an upgrade. Isak and Ekatike are obviously upgrades to Darwin Nunez, Luis Diaz. Who was Nunez's backup? Who was the other striker they had? I can't even remember.
You don't remember?
Who was it? But yeah. I guess I always think about him playing on the left, him and Diaz.
R.I.P.
But Diogo. I guess Gakpo used to play a little bit up top too, but he seems to have played a little bit more out left. And then obviously Trent's departure, and Robo is still there, but he's not really playing as much. He's still getting some minutes. Allison being injured, take that for what it is. But it just seems odd. I'm not a system guru or whatever, but like we said, like I feel like this was the game that was kind of that tipping point where managers were looking for an excuse to sell Salah. He already dropped in price. He was down to 14.4. I would not be surprised to see a lot of managers after this week move on from Salah and say, this was the excuse that I was looking for to move on from him, open up the funds.
I could see that, but it's also they're up against a good Chelsea team, right? I mean, Liverpool's midfield and Chelsea's midfield are both very good. I mean, they've spent a lot of money. They both spent a lot of money. I don't know. It is 3 in a row, but they lost to a good team. It's not like they lost to Palace 2 weeks ago, and then before that they lost to Galatasaray in Champions League. So they haven't looked convincing. I wouldn't say they're not in a free fall. I think it's more so that Salah's price is becoming hard to justify for EPL. But I think
it was hard to justify before the season, to be fair.
Yeah, but I think in the Premier League, I think they're going to be just fine. I think the Arsenal jumping ahead of them in the table, it looks bad, but I think they're going to be just fine at the end of the day. I think this is just a blip, and because we're in the eyes of FPL, makes it seem worse. But
you don't have Salah in your squad right now, do you?
I do.
So you're saying right now that if you, because you said you cannot afford Semenyo.
I can afford Semenyo if I sell Salah.
So I mean,
Yes.
I know it.
Yeah, and I mentioned wanted to sell him a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't find who else I would bring in to use those funds. I guess Semenyo's the answer.
Yeah, I wanted to get your take, just generally speaking, like Kirkez. I know Frimpong kind of had the injury, but I'm assuming he's healthy. He's been on the bench. He's been getting minutes, but maybe they're kind of just slowly reintroducing him. He didn't get any minutes in this game. I wouldn't necessarily categorize them in like the biggest flop category or the biggest bust that we put at the top of the episode. But like you have to say Kirkez and Frimpong, like they have Frimpong, I guess that you could say there's an adjustment period similar to Verts that maybe he's still going through, but Kirkez was in the league last season. It has not worked out at all.
Yeah. I know. I agree. Do you think that the expectation was too high though? Because you're coming into Trent, you're coming in to replace Trent and Robertson, who historically have been very good FPL assets. But at the same hand, people were saying for years Trent doesn't actually play defense; he's a midfielder. So they actually bought defenders, and we're saying that they're not working out. Yeah, I guess the clean sheets aren't there, but are you talking clean sheets or are you talking FPL points?
Well, both. Like clean sheets would be FPL points. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like Kirk has maybe the shortest leash I've ever seen for a player that they spent money on to bring in. I don't think he it feels like he's getting subbed off. He's not even getting the 60 in like most of these games.
Yeah.
It just like feel like at the beginning of the season, you saw a lot of managers, they're all, which Liverpool back line was it? Were you going to have Frimpong? Were you going to have Kirkes? Were you going to have Van Dijk? And I feel like we mentioned it a few weeks ago. Like it just, I don't know which Liverpool asset right now outside of Salah, and even Salah is a huge question mark right now because those funds, I really feel like, if you could pick to have right now Grealish and Semenyo versus Salah and a bench warmer, I think you'd pick Grealish and Semenyo over the latter. So it just feels like the choice is becoming so much clearer based on the form we've seen thus far. I'm not saying Salah couldn't turn it around and Liverpool can turn it around, but
Yeah, I hear you. I think long term, I would move out Salah for Isak because I think personally, I think they see Isak as the future. Salah's not going to be there forever. Will they listen to an offer from Saudi if they come for him? I would have to imagine so after what they spent this year.
I don't know. They're still getting that
But
Coutinho money.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think Isak is uh, personally my long term Liverpool asset that I'm targeting, and obviously that means selling Salah as well. So
Problem with Isak for me is just the fact that he's not expensive enough to be a choice between himself or Holland because right now, like, and I understand he didn't really have a full preseason and training and whatnot, but like Holland right now is in a class of his own. But if you're going Holland, you really can't afford Isak and another forward. If you go Holland, you're kind of forced to grab 7 mil or maybe an 8 mil forward, or maybe maybe you go Holland, Gyökeres, and then you need someone in the 7 mil range. I don't know how you can have someone like Holland and Isak, and then still have. Hey, I guess maybe you could have Holland, Isak, and then grab maybe DCL if that's kind of your approach. That
Woltemade.
might be viable. Yeah, but that's a lot of money. I mean, that's 14 and a half. Isak is what is he right now? He's 10-4. Has he come back up at all since he came back into the
I
squad?
I haven't checked. I can pull it up, but
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
personally,
We'll
I think it's all everybody's heightened because of Salah not
yeah.
justifying his price point, and they lost 3 in a row with the addition of Isak. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I think they're going to be just fine.
You were right about Everton. You were right about Chelsea. You were wrong about Foden.
I'm
We'll
wrong
see.
about players. I think I'm right about teams. So,
That might be it. All right, let's move on to the Sunday slate. So that was Saturday.
all right. So Sunday kicked off the early game. Villa hosting Burnley. Here's one I'll say.
Go ahead, say it. Say
Matt
it.
was right. Danielle
Thank you.
Mallon with the double, assisted in the 25th minute by Boubacar Kamara, and then the 63rd by Morgan Rogers. And then Burnley pulled one back by Leslie Ogochukwu, assisted by Quillinsley Hartman. I think I got that one. That was close.
Good
Quillinsley
enough for me.
in the 78th, but that was it. Buendia did come off at the 90 plus 10 with an injury, but yeah, 2 goals out of Villa. They finally flipped a switch. Not who people were expecting. It's your mystery boy Mallon here with the incredible offseason. The offseason people are still talking about. You don't have him in your squad
Yeah.
yet, do you?
I do not. Priced at 5.1 mil, I think, as we're speaking. Honestly, it feels like Emery is trying to find something in his squad. Mallon gets the start today, or not today, but in this game. You saw Harvey Elliott get the start last week, who didn't get, I don't think he got any minutes this week, which hurt for you. So it just like, it's a every week, it's like which cheap FPL midfielder is going to get the start for Villa? Did Mallon just make his case? I mean,
I
he
mean,
might have. I don't know.
Elliott's not. Can't do anything about that.
Right. So I don't know. You know who didn't make his case? Watkins. Another blank.
Another blank.
Another blank. Shooting blanks. Ugh. Hate to see that. But Rogers with another assist. That was kind of his calling card last season. He didn't actually light up. I think he ended up with like 11 goals, but he had like 13 assists last season. So this might just be kind of what he does is just racks up the assists. So nice to see him starting to get back in that goal contribution column there. Ross Barkley sighting over on the Burnley bench there, or no, on the Villa side. He got 6 minutes. So that's nice.
Forgot he was there. It was nice to see.
Yeah. But
On that,
that's all I got.
Moving on. Everton 2, Palace 1. Jackie Boy saves them from the death. So Palace opened up the scoring in the 37th minute. Daniel Munoz assisted by Ismail Assar. So I think that's 2 contributions in a row by Sarr. 2 weeks in a row?
A letter two, my friend.
Yes. James Garner and David Moyes both with yellow cards in the 68th minute. Refs were not pleased with them. Mateta gets subbed out for Nketiah in the 70th, and then Iliam Ndiaye with the Everton penalty in the 76th to tie it up. Then, just as they wrote it up, Jack Grealish, 90 plus 3 with the go-ahead goal.
Chaos.
It was really nicely taken. I mean, it's not like he's just getting tap-ins. Like, he's in the right spot. He could have judged that, no problem.
He could have. Well, I mean, the ball kind of just fell to his foot. I mean, he was in the right spot.
He made the run.
Yes. Agree. He's playing the game with some gusto, with some vigor.
Some bueno gusto.
He is impacting the game. It's nice to see. It's easy to root for this version of Jack. On the other side of the pitch, Palace, again, like I like Palace. I can root for Palace. Sar, again, with another goal contribution with the assist there. Daniel Munoz kind of proving that, you can still get attacking returns there, not just DEFCON for Palace. I don't know if there's a ton to say about this one, though.
Is Nketiah coming back from injury? I would think he should be nailed as a starter.
No, I don't think he's coming back from injury. I Mateta's got those minutes pretty much nailed down.
Right, but they're playing Mateta, Sar, and Pino was the third.
Yeah, so Pino was basically their Eze replacement.
Yeah, but is he better than Nketiah?
Well, I mean, they play different positions. I think Pino basically is kind of in that like attacking midfielder position. He's intended to play like that number 10.
Right.
So
we'll see.
But
he hasn't
Nketiah,
contributed.
yes, he has not. I mean, he's young. He's only 22 years old. But to your point, I mean, Nketiah knows the Prem. I mean, he's 26 years old. He's seemingly never really found his footing. I mean, he's had some big moments at Arsenal. I know he scored some big goals. He hasn't really broken through. Mateta
some big
is
goals
just
at Palace too. I mean,
he had a couple meaningful goals, but I think Mateta has had a few just like huge moments.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying he's starting over Mateta. I would think you would find a way to put both of them on the pitch. That was my only thought. But
yeah.
But
so
I think we said last week, Everton does have a tough run coming up. So maybe if you're looking to take a punt on NDI, but I wouldn't be moving Jack in at the moment.
Yeah. Only thing I would maybe look out for, and this is a huge maybe, if for some reason Amarim is out. I did see links that Glasner was the overwhelming favorite to get the job over at United. Yeah. So
Wheels could start to come off for Palace.
Keep that in mind. I mean, know what that would mean. I mean, if he leaves, the players don't leave. Who knows? So we'll react to that if and when it ever happens.
All right, next game: Newcastle 2, Forest 0. Unfortunate start to the to life in the Prem again for Ange. Bruno Guimaraes in the 58th minute, assisted by Dan Burn. That was a nice goal. Did you see that one?
Beauty.
Yeah, really.
I feel like I can't remember so many goals from like defensive midfielders ever. I feel like they're all just ripping them.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Big up top, then bring in 5 defensive midfielders.
Step with the right, plant with the left, and kapow.
And then in the 84th minute, Nick Voltamati did score the penalty, so I think that kind of answers the question of who's going to take him, although Gordon did get subbed off before that. So,
did you see this penalty?
I did not. No
I
good?
almost want to bring it up right now. I'm not even trying to be dramatic. It might be the best penalty I've ever seen in my life.
Hard hit?
There was no chance in hell this ball was getting saved. It was never even getting touched. The poise, the calmness, the confidence. He stepped up. He went up there with a plan. Slotted it.
That's what kind of...
It was so impressive.
I'll caveat this with the fact that I know I'm not athletic and I'm not a Premier League player here, but you can just, if you hit the ball hard into the top corner, it doesn't matter if the keeper jumps there. Like, if you hit it hard enough, they can't save it. I just don't understand why more people don't do that.
I'm sending it to you right now. It is an absolute scorcher. It's impressive. I mean, we've seen a lot of penalties. Harry Kane, is one of the best to ever do it.
He takes hard penalties too. All right, let's take a look at this.
And obviously, I want your just honest reaction. You've never seen this?
No. The
Yeah, you're
keeper's
seeing it
moving a
live right now.
lot. Keeper's moving a lot back there.
Matt Sells, force keeper. Do you need a towel?
I mean, he banged that in, and he didn't even have a fast run up. He kind of was
No.
doing a stutter step run up. He just
If
planted and scooped it.
you're Eddie Howe, how are you putting Anthony Gordon back on that penalty
I gotta watch
marker?
this again.
You're not. You are not
Right,
taking
left, right,
penalties
left.
away from him.
Boom.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, he's not going to do that, same spot every time, but
I don't know why he
still,
wouldn't. You can't save that.
I mean, that is an unsavable penalty. I mean, hats
Yeah.
off. So,
Yeah, good.
yeah, this
That's
was
3-3 for him. So
3-3.
one to keep an eye on. He's at a good price point. I might be looking to bring him in.
Yeah. This one, I will say, was twice as nice for me. So if you remember, I made my transfers early at the conclusion of our mega ep. I moved out Sells and Chris Wood, and I actually brought in Nick Pope and Voltamade. So I took out the 2 players on Forest, and I replaced them with 2 players on Newcastle, one who scored and one who kept a clean sheet. So
That's smart.
nailed it.
I
Nailed
should
it.
just follow what your moves are from now on.
Nailed it. I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, granted, if Gordon was on the pitch, he probably gets the penalty.
Maybe.
But
maybe not.
Voltamade is in great form. He's very affordable. I think right now he's at 7-2.
And
Does that sound right?
their next run is Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford.
That could be 4 goals, and that could be 12 points.
Yeah.
Just saying. Could also be 3, maybe 4 clean sheets. You never know. A Dan Burn playing left back, it seems like. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Consist.
So anything else from this one?
No. Anja's not going to make it past the break.
No. Poor guy. Love him, though. I'll be there for his statue reveal, though.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Next game. Wolves 1.
Hold on.
Brighton.
This one. I'm going to set the timer for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Go.
Wolves 1. Brighton 1. Another red card for a manager. Victor Pereira, 20th minute, red card. Followed by a first minute Bart Verbruggen own goal to put Wolves up 1-0. Quiet, boring game. De Kuiper did not get the start, gets subbed in on the 70th minute. Jean-Paul Van Heck gets a goal in the 86th, assisted by Stefanos Simias, and it ends 1-1. How'd he do?
That was incredible. I think you nailed everything that I was going to say. I was just going to make fun of Van Heck for scoring another goal, continuing his goal-scoring ways from his goal that he scored for Spurs. But you mentioned De Kuiper not getting the start, which sucked. But then, of course, Dorgu ended up coming in. My whole team. We'll get into team points in another minute. But yeah, no point in talking about this game. Wolves are going to be in the championship in a couple months.
Welbeck got the start over Matoma. So you can't trust either of those two. They're just flip-flopping now. So
no. Yeah.
Tough. All right.
And last game.
Final game of the week. Brentford 0, City 1. Holland in the 9th minute, assisted by Vardiol. I mean, he just bodied his way to the goal. There's just no... If nobody saw that one, go back and rewatch that one. He just blew through everybody. Really nice.
Just blowing guys left and right.
After that, Rodri did come off again with an injury in the 22nd minute. Again, so these guys that are coming back from injury just can't stay fit. Maybe we're going to see people staying out for longer. But other than that, really nothing else to note. Odin did not contribute at all. Reindeers came off. Oscar Bob came off for Doku and Silva. Only a couple changes on the City side. Brentford still struggling to score goals without Buemo and Wissa. And yeah, another convincing win. Like Holland said, he finally feels good. I forget what it was, but it was something like, seemed to be profound. But then it seemed like he said, I feel like I'm playing well.
Yeah, pretty scary that he's just now starting to feel like he's playing well, because he had been playing really well. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, honestly, coming out of this game, other than the Holland return, is, again, the Pep Roulette. Nice to see Foden get the start, but, Jeremy Doku, who had been coming off of a couple of really nice games, doesn't get the start here. I wouldn't look any deeper than the fact that, this is Pep just looking at the fact that they're playing Brentford. They've got midweek games, international break, just trying to use some of that squad depth. Semenyo, I think, just signed a new deal at City. So, I mean, he should be able to come in and contribute. Guardiol, an assist from center back, good for him. But otherwise, I don't think you look too much into this. If you are owning any sort of City assets right now, I think you can feel confident about Holland. I think you can still feel confident about Reinders. I think my third asset right now is
he hasn't
probably
contributed in a while though.
He hasn't contributed, but he's been the second most nailed player. And I think in a Pep system, that might be just as important as contributions, because he's just around. I don't know though. that's a fair point. So I don't know.
We'll see.
I think it's also safe to say Guardiola is not going to be playing out wide. I don't think he's featured out wide at all this season.
Yeah, so to that point, Aitnori is supposed to be back at end of the month, and Kuzanov, their other center back, is also supposed to be back middle end of the month. So they will have some extra players back there to move around. We'll see where Guardiola ends up. But Aitnori's been out since I think the Spurs game.
He was out against the Spurs game, and he came back like a week later,
And then
he was out again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about.
One last thing to note: did you see Donnarumma, the headshot from him when they were doing the anthem at the beginning?
No, I did
He's
not.
really not got much going on up there. I think people might not know he's bald because he's so tall, but I think his height is masking it. Something to keep an eye on.
I can commiserate with that. Not the height, with the balding going on up there. Listen, it happens. It's gonna happen to all of us, maybe. And
Maybe.
life goes on.
All right, you want to run through team of the week?
Yeah. So team of the week, like we mentioned, player of the week, Anton Semenyo with 18 points. Keeper of the week, San Lemons, with 9 points, United keeper. I just mentioned Guardiola had an assist with 12 points. Timber over at Arsenal, 11 points, had an assist. A clean sheet. Dan Burn, left back, with an assist and clean sheet for Newcastle. Van Heck, who had a goal for Brighton, with an 11-pointer. Daniel Mallon, 15 points, had a brace for Villa. Bruno Guimaraes, clean sheet and a goal for Newcastle. Mohamed Kudus with an assist and goal for Spurs on 12 points. Declan Rice with a goal. And I believe he stayed on for clean sheet. So he got 11 points there. And Sheshko with 9 points. He probably tied with Holland. But that is your team of the week with 33 points. If you had all of these players, you're incredible. If you had none of these players, try again next week. If you had some of them, you did better than Jim.
I had one.
Sometimes, Jim, the answer is not black and white. Sometimes it's a little bit gray, but sometimes the answer is black and white.
That's right. This episode is actually brought to you by the Black and White Cookie. Look to the cookie, my friends. Have chocolate, have vanilla, a symbol of harmony, balance, and the occasional stumbling. Eat too many. It's not just a dessert, it's a philosophy with frosting. Soft, cakey, perfectly round. The Black and White Cookie doesn't choose sides, it doesn't judge. It reminds us all that deep down, beneath our differences, we're all made in the same delicious dough. Jerry once said it best: if people would only look to the cookie, all of our problems would be solved. And he was right, until the cookie betrayed him. Grab your piece of edible peace today at looktothecookie.com and use code TINKER. 15% off your first dozen. It's looktothecookie.com, code TINKER, TINKER. The Black and White Cookie, because together, we're delicious.
All right. So should we take a look at our points?
Yeah, let me go first. I'll get this out of the way. Should be quick. So I was on 46 points. Like I said, I had Jesus take the wheel, so don't blame this on me. This is Jesus's doing. Petrovic in goal with 3 points. Dorgu off the bench with 1, Van de Ven 2, and Roden 1. Salah with 2 points for me. That might be my final straw. I really need to do something here. I captained Foden as the week before. There's no way he could have blanked twice. Turns out he did, but this time he did get the clean sheet point, so I got 6 points out of that. Mohamed Kudus with 12, Saka 8. I was glad to see him come back and get the goal. And then Guyu actually got a point for me. João Pedro with 2, and then Holland with his 8 points. So really bad, really tough stuff. I'm glad that I at least have transfer that I banked, and I'm at the bottom. So I can only go up from here, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, I think, another case. Like, you think about your last 2 game weeks, because you said it last week too, where like the difference between my score and your score last game week was just the captaincy pick.
Yeah.
And this week again, because like if you hadn't chosen Foden this week, who would
Foden.
you have chosen?
Jesus chose.
Okay, let's say that Jesus was busy. I don't know, maybe he was golfing. Who would you have chosen?
I would have chosen Saka.
Okay, I mean, okay. So Foden scored 3. Saka would have
Mm,
scored
we would have
16.
had 51.
That would have been, a nice little bump.
Still not great.
Well, not nothing, So, you take what you can get. Um, you
I know. I
It's
know.
interesting. No, but
I know.
it's interesting because like I don't hate the Petrovic keeper. I have Dorgu. I have Van de Ven. I don't hate Roden. Salah, Foden, Kudus, Saka. That's a very good midfield. João Pedro, Holland. Guyu is questionable. And your bench is kind of useless, but that's
Yeah.
because you have a lot of money in your midfield.
Yeah. And Elliot, I was certain that Elliot would become the starter, and he has not. He didn't even play.
There's still time though. There's still time.
Yeah. Let's move to you. I need to see somebody getting points at least.
All right, all right. So I scored 71 points this week.
Well done. Well done.
I did beat the average of 60. So there were 2 transfers this week. I mentioned moved out Matt Sells and Chris Wood, and I brought in Nick Pope and Blade. So Nick Pope gave me 7 points. Van de Ven gave me 2 points. Mark Gahey gave me 3 points. De Kuiper did come on, gave me a minute, gave me 1 point for a few minutes. Salah gave me 2. Kudus gave me 12. Xavi gave me 2. Semenyo with 18. Captain Holland gave me 16. João Pedro gave me 2. And Bolton-Mata gave me 6. Josh King, believe it or not, on my bench had 3 points, which is what it is. I wasn't going to start him over João Pedro. So all in all, 71-point week. I mentioned it a few weeks ago. Felt like my instincts felt good. Table position didn't reflect it. I have been moving on up.
So you
I'm
you don't
happy.
feel you're not a little disappointed in yourself that you didn't captain Semenyo? I mean, you could have had a really good week.
I don't want to say this because it's very easy to say right now. Did honestly, I swear it on your life, I did honestly consider captaining Semenyo. I decided not to because of the fallacy of the early game, first game captain. I couldn't do it.
You're a big fallacy guy.
I'm a big phallic
You're
guy.
a medium fallacy guy.
You said it. You said I'm a big phallic guy. You would know. So, 71-point week. Now, Lord Tinkerton had a 59-point week. So the AI crushed Jim this week. Basically in line with the average. So he had Sanchez in goal at 2 points. Pedro Porro did score 7 points. I know we called him a flop. He had the assist this week for that Kudus goal, but it's okay. Tarkowski with 5 points. Richards with 3. Doku only got the 1 point. Bruno Fernandes with 3. Kudus with 12. Captain Salah with 4. He does have Semenyo, 18. Nelson and Chris Wood with 2 points. João Pedro, for some reason, was on his bench, which I'm not sure why. There may have been a technical difficulty because I know we brought João Pedro in. I would have thought we saved him starting, but maybe something
I thought he brought
happened there.
Semenyo in.
We did bring Semenyo in, but I thought we brought... No. I thought we moved...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But either way, nice week for the AI, I guess. Still beating you. When we take a look at the league overall, so we're still sitting at 16 people. HPUC still sitting atop the league with 443 points.
He's
Very
having a
nice
great
point
season.
total. Great season. But close behind, Maximum Steve, Paul Gonzalez. Another 60-point week, just crushing it, consistent. Spurs supporter, Paul Gonzalez. We love Paul. 431 points. My cousin, Joe Tellerico, the Paisano, Calcio Club, 430 points, another 76-point week. And Matt Wannett, Space City Strikers, 68 points, 429. First season playing. He actually called me tonight. What a good brother-in-law. He called me tonight. All in all, table's tightening up. Not a big gap between, 8th place where I sit right now at 393 points and, 4th place. So making moves. But Jimbo, you're still within striking distance.
I'm only, 70 points down?
Yeah, but that's not that big of a difference at this point in the game. A lot of us have used our triple captain.
Actually, I'm
You hit it
110
right.
down. I'm 110 down.
Yeah. No, but don't think of it that way. You've got time.
Yeah,
You got time.
long season.
Big shout out to big shout out to Black Lab though. 80-point week. Just taking a quick look. Looking at he went heavy on Arsenal, Ryan in goal. He actually used his free hit this week. So he had Raya in goal, Timber, Dan Burn, he had Saka as his captain, Semenyo. 80 points. You don't it's 80 points is a pretty high total for a week. It's pretty good. All right. So we'll try to wrap up here shortly. Just taking a quick look. So we're not gonna take any sort of, gut reaction to the next game week preview. So we have international break. So the next game week does not start this upcoming weekend. They'll actually be the following weekend. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but do you happen to know the date? Let me see. The next deadline is not actually until October 18th. So we have 12 days from when we're recording this until the deadline. So you have plenty of time. I would recommend holding off until players get through the international break, just to make sure people come through, healthy, no injuries, before you make any transfers. But that being said, players are still moving. So there are price changes that are happening. As we are talking right now, there are some players that are expected to rise tonight. Gabriel, Arsenal defender Donnarumma, Senesi, and Guardiola. They are all going to go up tonight. And then a few other players that are expected to rise in the next couple days. Joe Rodon, Anton Stock, Calafiore, Mark Gahey, Josh King, again, and Caicedo, all expected to rise in the next couple of days.
What's
taking a look.
What's Calafiore at?
Calafiore right now is at 5.7. Yeah.
Yikes.
Gabriel's already at 6.2, so he's going to be at 6.3. Might even be at 6.4 before the window closes. So, yeah, that's
Sell Salah. I got to do it.
Yeah. That's I mean that's the whole key now. Is like, if you sell Salah, you can afford any of these players. Yeah. DCL is only about 54% of the way there, but he is still priced at 5.5. As far as drops go, we're looking at basically like Anthony Alanga, who I don't think anybody has in their squad. I think that's pretty much it. Milenkovic, if you have Forest defenders at this point, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really much as far as drops go. Malo Gusto, you mentioned him. Yeah. I think drops are okay. I'd say the only player that we know for a fact will not be playing in game week 8, we mentioned it, was Jack Grealish. He's not eligible to play against his parent club when Everton plays City. So if you have Grealish in your squad right now, start planning on how you want to work around that. But otherwise, enjoy the, little bit of a break. Maybe listen to, some new music, maybe a little bit of Taylor. What else you got, Jim?
I'm looking forward to a break from this pain.
Are you the kind of person that it stews, or are you actually able to kind of get away from it for 2 days?
No, it's stews. It's stews for sure. It's stew season.
I love soup. I was laughing when you were reading the sponsor, because the occasional stomach ache, you eat too many black and white cookies. I was getting an occasional stomach ache today because I had too many apple fritters.
Oof. Nice.
Started my day off right. 6 hot apple fritters. I'll probably go have 6 more right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we probably won't drop. I mean, we'll get back into our preview ep leading up to the deadline, but I don't know if we have anything planned in between now and the deadline ep. Maybe we'll drop something. I don't know. I don't know if we'll come up with anything in the meantime, but I know AFCON is coming up. We might want to do.
It's so far away. Don't even tease me. I need that. I need that to come.
You do. But yeah, I don't know. But this was fun.
Until next time.
As a reminder, until next time, please go like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Drop us a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to join our mini league. I'll drop the code in our description. And until next time, happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week. Fantasy glory's what we seek.